The lawyer who was trying to change New York's gambling amendments language now says he's given up the fight. Eric Snyder has announced that he will give up his lawsuit challenging the language on that amendment. And joining us now to talk more about that is our political analyst, New York Post state editor, Fred Dicker. And Fred, I wonder if it has anything to do with the fact that the judge basically said he waited too long and it's only going to be longer if he goes on with this.
Well, I think it has everything to do with that, Liz. The lawyer, Eric Snyder, he made the announcement on my radio show today, by the way. He said he didn't think he could win, that there was too much that was involved. He would have to ask the appellate division of state Supreme Court to reverse the trial court's action, judge's action, and he didn't think he had a chance of doing that. It's a sad end, although we have to give him credit on a couple of levels. One, there's no question his lawsuit added to the publicity that had already developed in New York about the fact that this language was so biased or so tendentious, and that it had been changed from the original language that had been submitted and suggested by Attorney General Eric Schneiderman. Number two, the fact that a citizen, it's really quite, to me, moving in a way that a citizen, a lawyer in this case who obviously knows how to use the system, could go to court under what's known as Article 78 of one of the bodies of law. I think it's the legal practice of New York. I forgot the exact name, maybe civil practice law and rules, and force a judge to take a look at whether or not a state's action is proper. In this case, the judge said, well, you didn't have the proper timetable for bringing the action, but if he had, then something really important could have happened. So I think, he deserves a lot of credit. We don't see enough of that kind of citizen action. And just finally, if I could just add it as a kicker, I'd love to see that Moreland Act commission that I've been critical of take a look at the scandal that's involved with this, because if in fact the language was manipulated in violation of the law, it may be too late for the court to take a look at it, but it's not too late for the Moreland Act Commission on Corruption to investigate what happened.
Isn't there some question, though, that they work at the pleasure of the governor, and isn't there also some question that the governor in some way helped frame the question that's on the ballot?
Well, of course, but that's that's at the heart of the problem for the Moreland Act Commission. They were never charged, that is, given instructions only to look at the legislature. The governor himself has acknowledged at times that they don't even have the legal right to look at the legislature. And yes, this is a creature of the executive branch, this Moreland Commission. That means it's the governor's appointees, but he claims he's given them complete go-ahead. That's what he claims, to look at whatever they want, although it's been revealed, as we know, that the governor's people intervened to stop them from looking at the Democratic Party or an element of a Democratic Party. So it's a mess, and one way they could show their independence on corruption, and if in fact they altered the language in violation of the law, that's corruption. One of the ways they could show their independence would be to take a look at what happened here.
All right. Thank you, Fred. We'll see what happens next. The suggestion has been put out there publicly now. We'll see what they do with it. Fred's on the radio, too. I'm sure we mentioned it there as well. Live from the state capitol, weekday mornings, 10 to 11 on Talk 1300 AM.